Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel, Spoiler Princess here, and I am so excited to be back after having a very intense month of school and a lot of exams, and I'm very happy that today I am going to talk about the second year dinner! But don't forget guys, like, subscribe, and don't forget to turn your notifications on because you never know when I'm going to post next time. So, let's get right into this video. See you guys. In Rosemine's first year at the Royal Academy, she made friends with a Dunkelfelger Archduke candidate named Hannelore, and they ended up exchanging books, and Rosemine got the book of Dunkelfelger's history and started making a manuscript of it in modern writing so that everyone could read it and learn about the rich history of Dunkelfelger. So the main reason behind the second year ditter was the ownership of this manuscript and who would get the rights to publish it and all the money that comes from it. The thing is that Rosemine manuscript cost 18 large gold coins to make. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. For us who do not know what gold coins are in this world, Sylvester had to ask permission to spend just normal gold coins. It is a lot of money. I will put on screen a literal just image of the conversions of this world in the anime that they show us. But it is a lot of money, and Leah, oh god. She spent all of that on a hobby, and she is very much going to fight for it. So, in the Interduchy tournament, Ob Dunkelfelger appears, and Ferdinand and Rosemine are at a table, and if she was the one who asked Hannelore if she could publish the modern translation of Dunkelfelger's history. When she agrees that she is in fact that one, he demands a ditter game. This action surprises both Hannelore and Rosemine. Hannelore tells her father off and immediately contacts her mother to come help control Dunkelfelger. Rosemine tries to look at Lord Ferdinand for help, but he's looking away and making it very clear he is not going to help. Rosemine then believes this is a test set up by her guardians. She reminds Ob Dunkelfelger that this was to be negotiated by the Obs and not a discussion that could be made by an Archduke candidate. Hannelore jumps in and tries to save the situation by agreeing with Rosemine and telling her father how does he expect Rosemine to know and react to suddenly being asked to ditter. Ob Dunkelfelger is literally just raises an eyebrow in response and is amused at the situation. Rosemine declares that she is going to go summon Ob Ehrenfest, gets up but is stopped by Ferdinand, who suddenly gets up too and places a hand on her shoulder and looks at her straight in the eyes and said, "No, Rosemine, you wrote this script. You are going to stay here while I escape and go get Sylvester for you. Don't move, it's fine, I'll go do it for ya." As they wait for Sylvester to arrive, Rosemine gives Lady Hannelore and Ob Dunkelfelger some pound cake that was made out of raw hairs, and asks them to say what they think of the pound cake. Ob Dunkelfelger says that this flavor wasn't at the Archduke conference, and Rosemine replies that it was because the Rontuff had run out by this time of the year. As they continue to talk, Sylvester finally comes over and has this seat where Ferdinand used to be, and he greets us Ob, the fellow Ob. Sylvester looks at Rosemine and says, "I am told that Ob Dunkelfelger wants to discuss the modern translation of their history," and tells Rosemine to give up on the manuscript because no matter how much time you had put into this, the only thing Dunkelfelger wants right now is to play ditter, and she can't even get through a simple tea party. How will she get through a ditter game? Anyway, after a lot of discussions, they come through and decide that they're gonna have a ditter game. And Sylvester looks at Rosamund and says, "You need to convince Ferdinand to take part of this, or else it's gonna be Karstead. So you do you, girl." And basically, the whole rest of the time, they're trying to convince Ferdinand to participate. And the only way they got Ferdinand to participate is by Heitschitz going up to him and offering him a Flammerzerg fruit, a Queldwild leaf, and a Windfalker's hide. And Ferdinand goes after and wants also some Lazarang powder as well, because they're going to fight this. It's going to be Heitschitz, Ferdinand, Hannelore, and Rosamund. Hannelore and Rosamund being the treasures that they have to steal. And what's on the line? Those things, plus the cape Ferdinand has. Because that is the prize. Heitschitz just knows what to do for this, man. He knows what he needs to do in order to get Ferdinand to participate. Now, we are finally at the ditter match chapter. So, Rosamund and Ferdinand go up and go to Dunkelfelger's dorm, because apparently they have a ditter game area to play in the dorm, because obviously that's, what else would we expect from Dunkelfelger, but have a literal area for play ditter. Ugh, God, ditter obsessed. That's all they are. They're ditter obsessed. Anyway, they can enter the dormitory because Dunkelfelger is with them and makes a face down with his magic so that they can enter. Then they separate on opposite side of the field, where Heitschitz and other Dunkelfelger knights discuss strategy, while Ferdinand discusses strategy with Rosamund. And Ferdinand basically tells Rosamund, "Do not leave the circle. Stay in your high beast and use Shitzaria's shield, and he's gonna take care of everything else." He then grabs Rosamund's protective magic tools on her wrist, puts them on himself, takes out the blue cape that actually has magic circles into it, and basically tells Rosamund that the only reason she's here is because she can protect herself, and he's not going to do anything to protect her, so she better do a good job at protecting herself. Everyone makes their high beast, and then the game starts, as Rosamund and Hannelore are already in their circles. Ferdinand and Heitschitz shoot towards each other, and Rosamund immediately chants the spell to make Shitzaria's shield appear. Ferdinand screams Rosamund's name as Heitschitz launches an attack at her, while he also launches an attack straight at Hannelore. Rosamund, having already made Shitzaria's shield, the attack just bounces off of it, but Hannelore has to create a shield herself by calling Gutild, and hides behind it in order to stay safe. And one of her charms activates and sends an attack back towards Ferdinand. Rosamund is relieved that Hannelore is fine. Heitschitz then sends a powerful strike towards Ferdinand, and one of Ferdinand's charms just activates. And the knights on the sideline watching the whole thing scream out at Heitschitz that he should be careful because Ferdinand has charms on him and that they can't be reckless. Heitschitz then screams out that Ferdinand isn't the type of man to have two charms that have the same effect, so that actually physical attack are now safer if anything. And Heitschitz, of course, is correct. By having battled Ferdinand multiple times, he already knows that Ferdinand has only one charm left, and it is for magical attacks. So, as they keep going, Heitschitz just keeps on hitting down and swiftly towards Ferdinand, while Ferdinand is on the defensive, blocking constantly. And we have the knights on the sideline cheering for Heitschitz, saying that he's so good. And Rosamine reflecting that in Ehrenfest he is the best knight they have, while here he actually has to put a lot of effort in order to not lose. Heit notices that Ferdinand is trying to reach for a magic tool and stays on the offensive so that Ferdinand has no time to wield a magic tool or morph his staff. So there's a flash of white light, there's a lot of ringing, blades are clashing, it is intense, and Heit sparks a remark at Ferdinand that all this time in the temple made you soft. Haven't you been keeping up with your training? And obviously, Ferdinand replies, "No, I'm not a knight." But he sounds very aggravated about this, and he's not having a fun time. And this is the first time Rosamine is seeing him struggle to fight anyone. And she notices that Heit has spent 10 years as a Dunkelfelger knight since his graduation, and it really showed by how strong he was compared to Ferdinand. While Rosamine is trying to figure out what she can do to help Ferdinand, she takes out her staff and chants Angrief's blessing, which all the Dunkelfelger knights on the sideline notice and scream out to Heit, "Be careful!" And they're surprised when it was a blessing and not an attack that happened. Ferdinand, with Angrief's blessing, is now much calmer, his expression is back to normal, and he's actually being able to keep up easier now. And Ferdinand says, Rosamine is trying to figure out what else she can do, and Ferdinand stops her and tells her that he is fine and he can take care of it from here for himself and he will win for sure. Rosamine claps her hands together and prays a little, while the high beasts continue to dart through the air. And they clash a lot of blows, and Ferdinand seems to get slower and slower and slower due to the relentless assault. And it was clear to the Dunkelfelger knights that Ferdinand was on the edge of losing. And they scream out to Heit that he's so close, just one more push, finish him. Just as Heit go to make the final attack, Ferdinand grabs the blue cape and puts it in front of him, stopping the attack because he would literally just cut through his own cape that he's trying to win back. And Ferdinand, while he's distracted, takes out a magic tool and activates it, blowing them both apart. And Ferdinand takes the staff, liberates his staff, and just grabs a load of magic tools in his hands. The face that he's making during this makes Rosamine realize that the Lord of Evil title might not be so far off. Ferdinand then starts throwing magic tools at Heit as he's trying to get closer to him. And then, as he throws a magic tool, he takes out his staff and forms it and chants Watergun. And we all know, Rosamine in her head is okay, Ferdinand doesn't have many magic tools. This isn't gonna last long. And so the Dunkelfelger knights on the sidelines. And then he chants Watergun. They don't know this thing. And then it just starts shooting arrows at Heit. He is surprised. He doesn't know what to do with this. And he just starts evading. But then Ferdinand knows where he's gonna evade, so he throws a magic tool at it, so he's now thrown on the defensive. And basically, he aims the Watergun afterwards towards Hannelore and just starts shooting it at her. Rosamine screams out and look out, Hannelore. And Ferdinand looks at Rosamine after she screams it out and asks her, whose side is she even on after having a cold stare look at her? Can you just imagine how horrifying it must be to just be looked at like that by Ferdinand? I don't even want to imagine it. The cold stare, that you feel chills down your spines, and that you start to stutter sorry because your friend was in danger. It's just amazing. Ferdinand then throws Heit off of his high beast and then darts straight for Hannelore. Rosamine is like, please, someone save her. Heit throws a fireball at him. Ferdinand's charm doubled the strength of that fireball back at Heit. And basically, Heit is just done for now. And Ferdinand just goes straight for Hannelore. But as Heit keeps falling, he shifts his direction toward Rosemine and just goes straight for the shield and just bounces off of it and lands on the ground with a thump. Rosemine gets up from her high speeds and just looks at him and goes, Are you okay? And is actually really worried and wants to heal him really badly, but she can't. They're in the middle of a battle. She knows she has to wait. He downs down a regeneration potion and just stays down and is just dying. While this is happening, Ferdinand goes up to her Hannelore and tells her that Heit is immobilized and that if she accepts defeat, that she will leave willingly her territory. Hannelore, being the amazing Archduke candidate that she is from Daggerfelger, I'm so proud of my baby, tells him that she is an Archduke candidate from Daggerfelger, and no matter how inevitable defeat may seem, I will never surrender by choice. A round of applause for my girl. My girl is amazing. Ferdinand blinks in surprise, and all the knights of Daggerfelger on the sidelines are crying out, and they're screaming hooray at Lady Hannelore, and that to show them how amazing of a Daggerfelger and Archduke candidate she is. Ferdinand sighs out of frustration and just tells her that he has no choice but to force you out because he wants to finish this before Ehrenfest matches in the Interduchy tournament, and without even a moment of hesitation, create bands of light. It circles her in it and just flings her out. Hannelore just screams, and Heit, having healed just enough, sprints towards Hannelore, grabs her out of thin air, but not being very, very stable, just falls over and takes most of the damage from that fall, and while Hannelore is pretty much completely intact. And Daggerfelger announces that Ehrenfest wins. And God, and Rosemine immediately goes like, "Can I heal them, please, Ferdinand? Can I heal them? Like, can I grant Heischmert's blessing?" Like, and Hannelore's like, "Would you actually do that?" And says that she would really appreciate it. While Ferdinand tells her to do as she wishes, but that she should show those around her that compassion to also her allies. Rosemine had not realized at all that Ferdinand was injured. Girl, he was completely fighting in a literal fight with Heit, a Daggerfelger knight. What did she expect to happen? Well, she just looks at him and starts scolding him that he should allow himself to show that he's injured. How is she supposed to know that he's injured? And he's like, "Never reveal your weakness to your enemy, you fool." And Rosemary goes, "Well, you didn't reveal it to your ally either," with that best comeback ever. And basically lays them all down together in a circle and just goes, "May Heichmills heal you be granted." And basically heals all of them, and Hannelore thanks her with the most beautiful smile. And Heit's wounds are restored completely. He's completely fine now. So basically now everything is fine, everyone's okay, and Ferdinand says that they should go back to the battles and settle in, and they can discuss the agreement later. But for now, they should make it back for the second half of the tournament by going to eat lunch at the dormitory, because Rosemine would like to see Cornelius' valiant struggles. And basically everyone is fine, they're all going off, and in the end, Rosemine gets the right to publish any and every Daggerfelger book that she ever gets. And it's amazing. She can now make as many books about Dunkelfelger as she possibly wishes, which is actually going to lead to a new genre of books being created called made by Roderick, and I do not remember the genre of books on the spot anymore. Oh no! But yeah, a new genre of book gets created. We get more history books from Dunkelfelger afterwards, and it was actually split into 3 different books because of how big Dunkelfelger's history is. So this was a very fun book, like very fun chapters in here with the second year ditter, and we all know like ditter is so fun, and we finally got to see some Heishits in the story actually fight ditter and be good, and he's one of the characters that I like a lot, that we see a lot in the later on in part 5, and he's really fun. And I wish we got more Heishits and more Dunkelfelger dynamics. So look at this, everyone! Look at this beautiful drawing that we have this time around. I am very happy with it. It took me a lot of time, and I was very unsatisfied when I was first making it, thinking this was not how I wanted it to look, that the effects weren't good, and I was like, okay, we need Angrif's Blessing, which Angrif is part a blue, and then Shitsaria, which is yellow, so I had to incorporate those colors into the little circles, and I hope you all really enjoy it, because I had a lot of fun. And please remember, guys, please support me. I very much love to do this, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!